This is number 68 in the Chapter 6 review homework. So rope tension. Two ropes support a 180-pound weight as shown in the figure. Find the tension in each rope. So let's just call this, we want to find the tension, but let's just use different variables to kind of help us out. I'm going to call this U and we'll call this V. And we know, let's try to figure out directional angles here. So if I make this here the horizontal axis, okay, and I'll just make the ball sort of like our origin here. So 30 degrees, I know if this is 30 degrees, so different ways to solve for this angle. Number one, this is 30 and this is 30, so therefore this angle here has to be 180 minus 60, which is 120 degrees. Then, if this is our perpendicular line here, we know it's half of that, and so this would be 60 degrees. And then on the other side, we know that this is 30 degrees, right? So that's 30, and this is also 30 degrees, which we did know from before. And so this is 30 degrees here. Okay, that's the one angle, so that's theta. Theta of U is 30 degrees, so what is theta of V? So the angle for V, we want the directional angle, so that's the angle here. So if we know that this angle in here is 30 degrees, then therefore we know this angle here is 150 degrees. So we're going to have three forces. We have the tension on this side, right? This one's holding it up. This one's also holding it up. So I'm going to say that U plus V and then plus the weight is going to equal 0, right? So that's the other force here, is the weight of the ball. Now it's equal to 0 because it's not moving, it's not lifting it or anything else, so it's just set equal to 0. So what we're going to do is we need to write our equations for each. So U, V, and let's call this W. So let's start with U. So U equals the magnitude of U, and remember that's cosine of 30 degrees I, plus magnitude of U, sine of 30 degrees J. Now let's write our V. V equals the magnitude of V times cosine of 150 degrees I, plus the magnitude of V sine of 150 degrees J. Now let's take a look at our weight. The magnitude we know, so the magnitude of W is 180. So a magnitude, remember, is distance, so it's just positive. So it's 180 pounds. I'm going to call this cosine of, what's the angle here? Theta. So you can say it's 270 degrees or negative 90, however you want to look at that. So I'll call it 270 degrees I, plus the magnitude, we know the magnitude of 1 is 180 of sine of 270 degrees J. So let's simplify each of these. So cosine of 30 degrees, cosine of 30 is really root 3 over 2, root 3 over 2, times the magnitude of U. And then I plus sine of 30 is going to be 1/2 J. So that is U. Then V, cosine of 150 degrees, so magnitude of V, cosine of 150 is negative root 3 over 2, and then it's going to be the magnitude of V of 1/2 of J. Then for the weight, that is going to be 180. Cosine of 270 degrees is 0, I, plus sine of 270 degrees is negative 1. So therefore this simplifies to 0I minus 180 J. So remember that U plus V plus W equals 0. So we're going to make our equation. So all the horizontals will go on one line. So all our cosines or i's will be there. So let's first write our magnitude of U. And that's root 3 over 2. And then here, that will make that a negative, right? Because there's a negative here. So negative magnitude of v square root of 3 over 2. And then we have this last one plus 0, and that all should equal 0. Then let's write our verticals, which are our j's or our sign values. So writing it out, let's write the magnitude of u 1/2 plus the magnitude of v 1/2, and then plus 0 or minus 180, sorry, we're looking at these here, minus 180 equals 0. Okay, so just wrote our verticals in one line, right? All of these values here. That one, and this one. Now, we have to remember that, number one, these angles here aren't equal, so therefore the opposite sides are also equal. It's an isosceles triangle, so therefore we know that u equals v. So what we can do here is u equals v. Let's change these all to u, so they're the same exact variable that we're dealing with here. So the magnitude of u, we have in this first part, magnitude of u root 3 over 2 minus magnitude of u root 3 over 2. That just cancels each other out. So this is 0 equals 0. And that should make sense because this ball isn't moving left or right any, right? It's just going straight up. So that is 0. Now the vertical, we have 1/2 plus 1/2. So there are 2 of them. So this simplifies to 2 magnitude of u to the 1/2. Let's add the 180 to both sides while we're at it. Equals 180. Now 2 times 1/2, that cancels out, and so after all of this, the magnitude of u is 180 pounds. Okay, now again, it's just knowing how to set these up. Now I know there are isosceles triangles and everything else, but knowing how to set up the problem will really help you out with a lot of the other problems that we have here.